everyone, it's Clarice, and today I'm going to be talking about how to control your book buying. I'd like to think that I'm doing really well in terms of making sure that my own book buying is controlled. But at the same time, I can definitely relate to the feeling of just having to read all of the books. So I thought I would give some of my tips on how I am managing my own book buying. All of the tips I'm going to give are actually going to center around this one main idea that controlled book buying should become a habit. The first thing I do is I try to give myself limits, whether it be in the amount of money I spend on books or in just the number of books I buy. What I basically do is I set aside a percentage of my money to be spent on books, and I try not to go over that as much as possible. And lately, since I'm trying to reduce the size of my TBR pile, which I actually made a video on and I'll link that down below, generally I'm just trying to put a conscious effort into making sure that the number of books I'm buying doesn't exceed the number of books that I'm reading. Another thing I do is that when I'm in a bookstore, I try to really think about it before I buy a book. I try to ask a lot of questions. Things like, will I get to this book soon, or will it just end up staying on my shelf for a really long time? If I'm not planning to read it soon, is there any reason for me to buy it now rather than later on? Is it really that difficult to find this book? Would I still buy this book if it weren't on sale? If you ask yourself enough questions, you're gonna end up buying less books solely based on impulse, and by extension, buy less books in general. And the last tip I can give, which is another habit that I'm trying to solidify right now, though I think I'm doing pretty well with sticking with it, is trying to get into that mindset and get into the habit of only buying books that you plan to read immediately. So you are reading books as you buy them. This way you're not buying books in huge chunks and you're just buying books one at a time, and as soon as you buy them you're going to be able to read them and get through them, so your TBR pile doesn't actually increase, so you don't end up spending money on these books that you never actually get to. So those are all my tips for controlling book buying. If you have any more tips, feel free to share them in the comments, because I know that I, along with a bunch of other people, will probably find them really helpful. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye!